Every day when I ride down the road, the everlasting daisies, it feels like they're smiling at me. Their warm yellow and orange petals brighten up the day.
It's a beautiful valley, and I wish I could sit there forever. But in 20 or 2 or even 1 year, it won't be there.
In my hometown, where the water flows, there is a special Australian creature, a platypus. I wish with all my heart to see it. I know it's there because my sister Likey and my neighbour Graham have seen it with their own eyes. They are so lucky!
At 6 in the morning on November 30th, I was standing right here on the bank, and just over there I saw a few bubbles. So I just moved myself over to this tree and took out my phone, and within a few minutes the platypus appeared just over there. I started videoing, and over the next 20 minutes the platypus came up about 7 times. Twice he came quite near, and once he was right there, only about a metre from my feet. I just felt so privileged that this beautiful creature, would like to spend some time with me, would hang around and share this place with me.
My name is David Goldney. I'm a platypus ecologist, and I've worked with platypus off and on for about 30 years. There is a small platypus population in the Hartley Valley in the Rivulet, but an important population because platypuses across eastern Australia are becoming extinct, and they are likely to be named as an endangered animal in the very near future. And the ones in the Rivulet are to be particularly treasured because they represent an example of a small rivulet that is still home to the nearly endangered platypus, unique to Australia. With the proposed redevelopment of the Great Western Highway, this does pose some risks to the platypus population in the rivulet. What platypuses particularly don't like is sand and sediment being spread over the bottom of a creek or a pool, because this destroys the food on which the platypus depends. Also, the other issue is oil and pollutions from a runoff posed by motor vehicles and motor trucks. These two can damage the river and impact on the food sources that the platypus lives on.
My name is Renzo Benedette. I'm the president of the Hartley District Progress Association. Some of you have, I suppose, taken many hours to read through the review of environmental factors that the government has put out recently, a document that runs into lots of pages. A fairly technical document, one that has been written for government and for departments rather than for the community. And as you read, and for those of you who have read that document, and I've read this document twice now, There are elements in that document which you think, how the hell they missed that particular issue? The document was supposed to provide us, the community, with a review of environmental factors, which is in essence a review of the environmental impact of this particular development. Nowhere in that document is any mention of the platypus habitat at Rivulet Hill. And you would think that if they were doing the biodiversity analysis thoroughly, you would have thought that they would have picked that up or engaged with the local community who would have told them the answer. But no, most of this stuff has been done in a desktop regime with the odd field visit. And you sort of think, well, if they missed that particular large issue, then what else have they missed?
This arch that was built to carry water, this was supposed to take water, a big flow of water, once in 100-year flood. Now we've had once in 100-year flood and it's supposed to be taking water. As you can see, no water. It's December 2021. We're having a La Nina event. We've had months of rain. This is perfectly dry. This is a big mistake, but it's only one of many big mistakes that are in the pipeline that keep on happening. Will we allow another mistake like that that's been built to at huge cost, but the real cost is not in the materials and the building, and they're not working with the environment, they're working against it. The causing of erosion from there's water comes out, that comes down here, and all of these areas are now being eroded. And again, there's trees coming down.
The feeling of growing up with the Hartley Valley is what has led to learn what was here before we were, and what will be there in the future.
This overhung cave is typical of those that we find throughout the escarpment of the Hartley Valley that makes it such an important heritage place. In this case, Aboriginal people have been leaving their marks in this cave for tens of thousands of years, and there's one very poignant splatter hand up here that's clearly the hand of a small child, left their splatter hand print sometime prior to European settlement. This view across the Hartley Heritage Valley is iconic. It's listed on the National Heritage List database, it's listed in the National Trust Iconic Heritage Landscapes. We want to protect this view. We don't want to be identifying the end point of Blackson, Lawson and Wentworth's crossing of the Blue Mountains by reference to a whole pile of trucks parked in a truck stop in the middle of the valley.
Wayambana, Yiridu Marang, Yuandu Yayan, Wiradjuri Gibeah. I said in Wiradjuri language, welcome to Wiradjuri country. I'm named Adrian, Wiradjuri man. Calling my people together because we have very important sites that are going to come under direct threat. We need to come together. We need to stand together. Black, white, it doesn't matter. There's history in this valley that is important for white history and Aboriginal history. This is the very first valley on Wiradjuri Nation that the settlers stepped on.
And we live in just the most beautiful place. You know, it's a stunning valley. You look around and we're just so privileged to be here. And with that privilege comes some responsibilities, because we've got to be thinking about, you know, what we're doing to the valley.
I need your support. We all need each other's support. The Hartley District Progress Association can do so much, and we've done a fair bit in the best that we can. But we need the community to come with us. We need you to commit. We need all of us to commit.
We may save generations after generations so that they can have the same environment that we have got today. They can have the wonderful creeks and rivers, they can have the platypuses, they can have that environment. Destroy it, it will never come back. You can build a road today, you can build another road tomorrow. But once you start to destroy the environment, you can't rebuild it, because destruction of an environment is permanent.
The review of environmental factors that Transport for New South Wales have just tabled, covering the development of the motorway through the valley, is somewhat overwhelming. Several thousand pages. Don't let it overwhelm you. There's a 10-page summary at the front, an executive summary, and all the issues are visible in that. You have an opportunity now to express your concerns. We want to preserve the peace and tranquility of this valley for your children and your children's children. Now is the time to take action to look after this valley for the future.